grew up in Cresswell, Oregon, and I was actually born in Canada to American parents, and lived there for 2 years. I was born in Ottawa, Ontario, and then the whole family moved back to Oregon when I was 2 years old. I guess I got into snowboarding through skateboarding. That was the first thing, but there's a couple other things with family. Like my dad was really addicted to cross-country skiing and kind of the outdoors and going up in the mountains, no matter like in the fall if it was raining, or winter if it was snowing, and summer if it was sunny, of course. But we were kind of always taking trips in the mountains. And then when maybe I was about 11 years old, I got into skateboarding with my neighbor. And I grew up in this small little town with maybe 2,000 people on the other side of the Cascades. And so I grew up skateboarding with my neighbor, and a couple years into that, we saw in the magazines ads popping up for snowboarding, and that of course piqued our interest because skateboarding in the town I grew up in the wintertime was pretty much rain, and we'd skateboard in my garage maybe or something. But so skateboarding was the thing that really got me into snowboarding, got me interested. And then my family just being in the mountains all the time and having the ability to go up there like all winter long, every weekend. That was kind of our schedule, was getting up there. And so it was really easy to get up to kind of a local resort that was an hour and a half away, Willamette Pass. And then my dad and family would go cross-country skiing, and I'd go ride the chairlifts.
I love to ski, and literally I would go up every weekend. And then Josh started snowboarding at Willamette Pass, and Jason was one of them.
You know that back in 1992, that first year snowboarding, we were just getting our driver's licenses and meeting each other up at Willamette Pass, where we snowboarded every weekend that year. And the next year, 1993-94 season, we both got season passes to Mount Bachelor, and we're driving from Eugene over to Mount Bachelor on weekends and days off of high school, taking turns. We both had cars. One weekend was his turn to drive, the next weekend was mine. And we were sleeping in the car, up in the parking lot, or landing at house parties down in Bend, where as time went on, we were able to meet more and more people who lived in Bend. And so it was a pretty natural progression to, once we graduated high school in 1994, to move over to Bend. And we were here for the mountain.
And then after I graduated in 1994, I moved over with Jason McAlister to Bend, Oregon. And we moved here just for the big mountain, Mount Bachelor. And Mount Bachelor has a really long season too. And so we were able to ride Bachelor from November until April. And then when they finally did shut down, we'd just move up to Mount Hood and work at Mount Hood all summer. And so it kind of, once I graduated from high school, it kind of turned into snowboarding all year long. And it's been that way ever since.
The list, I think, was 12, at least 12 or 18 people. Out of that group, it was 10 or more became professionals, snowboarders, or something within the snowboard community as a career. And so that was amazing to see.
You know, we've been in Bend, when we first got there the winter of 92, 93, and Alex was, how old was Alex? 3 years old. Josh was like a young up-and-coming snowboarder, and you know, he was one of the youngsters, and he just kind of became more noticeable because, you know, he was such a, I mean, you know, I thought about it, a way to describe his snowboarding style is that he's like, I was always really impressed because he's like totally efficient. You know, there's like no wasted moves with Josh.
Come on, Josh!
When I look at Dirksen, I think the thing that is so impressive about him is his pure board control and kind of power. He doesn't even look like he's going fast, and he's going fast. And there's a lot of like intangible things that you can't really explain unless you see it. But one kind of thing, for example, one year at Super Park, I remember with Dirksen, everybody was hiking the hip, you know, and it's a big showboat hip session. And Dirksen was just lapping and cruising through without stopping and hitting the hip, and then just going down to the chairlift and going bigger than everybody. And you know, that's kind of, it's hard to kind of explain somebody's vibe tangibly like that, but just, it's incredible watching him. You know, I like making fun of turns personally, but he's one guy that you watch do a turn and you're like, oh my God, you know, he is like a real like turn guy that makes it look good. When I was a kid, you know, I had the Josh Dirksen back 9 over pyramid gap poster on my wall. So he was somebody I always looked up to, and then it was that kind of first realization moment that we're on the same team and we're riding, and he was kind of the mentoring us for our first time riding powder, and it was a disaster, you know, but he would just go and land everything. So, but yeah, it was really special getting to kind of fly under Dirksen's wing on that Japan trip.
You know, he's just been this snowboarder that I've admired from the very beginning, just because I really think his snowboarding style is kind of like a surfing style that I like.
I guess there's a few things that got me into snowboarding, and I started so much better the time before. All right, loosen up.